Hey friends, it's Marissa, and today we are talking about the May report. So the May report is what I am reading, eating, playing, obsessing, recommending, and treating. So we are going to get into it, and I'm going to tell you all of my favorite things that I have been loving this May. Okay, so for reading, I read The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Not 100% sure on how to pronounce her last name. I read The 7-Year Slip and absolutely loved it, so I decided to give The Dead Romantics a shot, and I liked that one as well. The 7-Year Slip is a romance, but it also has a little bit of time travel, so there's like another layer on top of the romance. And The Dead Romantics is a romance, and the main character has the ability to communicate with people who have passed on. So I really liked that extra layer on top of the romance and thought it was a really interesting read. Then I am in the middle of this one. It is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Also don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she has a really popular book out right now that is part of this series, and it is called Just for the Summer. I believe that's the third one. This one I had higher hopes for, if I'm honest. I really liked it in the beginning. It's like a modern Hallmark movie, if you like that. It's like big city girl she ends up in a small town and kind of falls for this small town guy. But of course there's some tension there, and her family really wants her to be in the city and wants her to do all these things, so she's feeling a little bit torn. I'm a little more than halfway through. I think I have 130 pages left, so depending on how this one goes, I may or may not read the rest of the series, but we'll see. Comment if you love this series and if you've read Just for the Summer or any other books by Abby. For eating, we have been loving these Italian wraps. They're actually meant to be pinwheels, but we've been eating them as wraps. It's like a garden vegetable herb wrap, and then you put like onion and chive cream cheese on there. So we just use the Philadelphia brand. It's so good. And then we put salami, provolone, pepperoni, and lettuce on and roll it up, cut it in half, and it's just such a good summer meal. Really love having it for lunch and just having chips on the side, or like some sort of cold something like potato salad or coleslaw. Next we have playing, and I have a couple things. I couldn't just pick one for playing because we are watching a lot of different TV shows at the moment. We are those people who watch TV or a movie while we eat dinner, so we get a lot of TV time in, I will admit. So I restarted Pretty Little Liars. I used to watch it in like middle school, high school, whenever it came out. I think it was like 2009, 2010. But I have been loving watching that again. We don't currently have a dishwasher, so we will like put our phone up sometimes and just watch a show while we do all the dishes by hand. Makes it much more enjoyable. And then we've also been watching The Middle. So I've been watching Pretty Little Liars on my own, and then together me and Max have been either watching The Middle or Stranger Things, which we have already seen. So it's a little bit of like drama thriller, and then we have like the comedy sitcom. It's nice to have a little bit of both. Sometimes I need a break from all the thriller and the kind of creepy stuff. In terms of podcasts, I'm listening to all the same podcasts that I mentioned in my April report. I am also listening to the Closing Table podcast. I was a guest on their podcast actually last week. It's May 29th is when my episode goes up, and it is the Closing Table podcast. So go check that out once it's up. In terms of music, I have been loving Renee Rapp's music, specifically the song Gemini Moon. That is just such a good song to belt out in the shower. I personally like the slower, more belty songs than like the fast-paced party songs. I don't know, let me know. What do you prefer? Because I feel like you either prefer one or the other. Like I like both, and there's definitely a time and a place for both, but I think overall I really prefer like the slow, like dramatic songs. So let me know in the comments which ones you prefer. Obsessing. So Max and I went to the Green Bay Botanical Gardens a couple of Fridays ago. I was having a bad day, and he was like, we're going to Green Bay. I'm like, okay. And I looked up free things to do in Green Bay, and Green Bay Botanical Gardens came up, and I was like, I don't think that's free. I think you need admission. And it was just so interesting because I went on their website, and of course, specifically that day was a free entry day. And so we headed over there. It was just perfect. It was like, I feel like the universe had my back. And my friend Acacia actually told me about this concept called God Winks. And it's like when God knows that you're having a rough time or a bad day or knows you need something, like they'll just put something out there for you that's like so amazing. And I just love that so much. So never heard of that before until she brought it up, but I really feel like that was like something I needed because it was just amazing. It was just all the spring vibes, so many flowers, so beautiful. Okay, next is recommending, and I am recommending a walking pad so much. I sit so much for work in the car, at home, in trainings, in classes, etc., etc. And I recently switched from a like standard desk over to an adjustable desk. So I've had my adjustable desk for probably 4 or 5 months now. And so then I got the walking pad, and this is my dream setup so that I can sit and I can stand and I can walk. So there's so many options, and I love having the walking pad. I've even dragged it into the living room here and just walked on it while we're watching TV. It's really nice if I feel like I've been sitting a lot during the day that I can just pull it out and get a few steps in. It's really super easy too to like all of a sudden you walked 2.5 miles and you didn't even realize it. So I will link the one that I have in the description, but it shows you your calories burned, your speed, your step count, your distance, and your time on it. So I really like that it has all of those options. Okay, last but not least is treating, and I have been treating with Poppi Soda here and there. I probably pick up about 2 or so every time we go to the grocery store, and I've been loving the orange, the cola flavor, and the watermelon, surprisingly. Max had bought me a couple of Poppi's different flavors, and I let the watermelon sit in the fridge for so long because I didn't think it was going to be good. And then one day I was like, okay, it's the only one I have left. I'm going to crack it open and try it. And it's amazing. It reminds me of that watermelon gum. And I don't know, I just love it a lot. I've tried a lot of the other flavors, but those are my favorites. And then I would also recommend if you're a chocolate or sweet treat person, I love getting bars of chocolate. So instead of like little individual chocolates or like Hershey Kisses, I get a bar of chocolate and it just feels fancier. It feels a little more elevated. You can get like a lot of different flavors. So I like the mint ones. I like the ones that have fruit in them too. So right now I have a cherry one and a mixed berry one. Okay, well that is all I have for the May favorites. I hope you really enjoyed this and you found something new to try. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel grow. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. I post new ones every single Monday. So I hope to see you next week, and thank you for watching.